Now this is your postgraduate level, the postgraduate diploma in professional marketing. At CIM, this is a level 7. If you want to find some relevance, this is at an MBA equivalent level. The truth is, this is way beyond some of the traditional Me Too short circuit MBAs you get in the market. Because at this level, we look at only 3 aspects of learning, 2 of which are assignments which you will apply to your selected company and work on it over 5 to 6 months. And then of course, you have a final global level, higher standard case study. And when you get these 3 subjects together, which is global marketing decisions, which is your strategic analysis and decision subject, and your transformational change, the entrepreneurial change subject, and then your stakeholder and reputation subject, which is about corporate digital communication. These 3 pillars will help you to stand on a board, a CEO level at any context around the world. So, welcome to your global marketing decisions, or fondly named as your case study. So, the truth is, this is one of the most exciting areas and the most exciting learnings, because this is real. It's about a case study, and all what you learned and all those background work you've done over a couple of months finally comes into life through a real case study. So with regard to last year, the case study was on Nike, and this is very, very current. And every company that comes to us through the CIM, banks like HSBC, DHL, many years ago I worked on iPad at a level where iPad was just getting launched. Even companies like Netflix, we did our case study when Netflix was at crossroads, when Netflix was a traditional CD, DVD type of company. And when we did the analysis, we saw their threats. And when you fast forward to 2020, Netflix is just rocking it. So the case study is a great way to build up your analytical and decision-making skills. And the way it's structured, the truth is, passing this assessment, which is an exam, where you have a lot of time to prepare, is not a big challenge. But I hope you focus on the learning and the whole case study process, which is going to give you dividends and make you so confident over decades to come. So if you take a company like Nike, just to understand what's cooking inside Nike at the highest level is going to make you take you to another level. $39 billion revenue company. And when you look at this case study, there are many significant areas that's at a strategic level that will come to you for your analysis. Market trends, consumer behavior, the market itself, the organizational factors, competition, and a degree of financials, so that you have a good grip of the company for you to analyze as well as make the right decisions. So if you just look at where Nike is right now, Nike just saw a CEO change, in fact a surprise CEO change at the end of 2019. It was such a day, both Under Armour and Nike both changed their CEOs. And when you listen to that message, you're very clear the direction of this organization. But some of the traditional classroom discussions in 2019 failed to appreciate the exact direction of where this industry was going. Because a typical lecturer outlook would not be able to cut through some of the complexities that these type of case studies bring in. In fact, it's common sense. If you look at it in a simple form, the biggest competitor, Nike, should be looking at 5 years from now was Amazon. And some were stuck with relatively obvious players like Under Armour and Adidas. So it's how you look at the market and your company is what gets your analytical thinking into that next level. Just listen to this.
CEO Mark Parker is stepping down effective January 2020 when he will become executive chairman. He will be replaced by ServiceNow CEO John Donoghue, who serves on the company's board and is the former CEO of eBay. Joining us in an exclusive interview from the company's headquarters in Beaverton, Oregon, Mark Parker, the CEO and chairman of Nike. Mark, good afternoon to you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Absolutely, yeah.
So Mark, first question, of course, is why now?
Well, we have a great leader for Nike coming in, and that's John Donahoe. He is absolutely the right leader for Nike and what we're looking for moving forward. He's a proven CEO of...
So this is a classic move. So John Donahoe, he's currently in the board, and he's going to come in as a CEO, and Mark Parker was a CEO for a fairly long time, steps down. Mark Parker comes from a design branding background, R&D design background. And Donahoe comes from a digital background. He was the ex-eBay, I believe even PayPal CEO. So Nike is looking at the world in a very, very different lens. Now we saw that at the case analysis, we just took a quick dive at it last year. So it's just turned out to be true. And when these companies make these radical changes, they are preparing for the future opportunity plus for the potential competition who for surely might come from a non-shoe sportswear background. So this is how exciting this subject of getting your head around a case studies. So at Daffodil, all our class have already started working on the Nike case study. In preparation for the case study, you will get towards towards May, early June, late May, so that you have enough time and enough preparation to get your head around it. So of course, when you look at the case study analysis capability, to go through 42 pages, go through a fair degree of information, this requires a bit of focus, your ability to drill down, debate, come to class and argue it out. So this is exactly what we need from a senior level executive in an organization. So that's how the case study looks like. 42 pages of information, insight coming in the document for you, and you are going to use all the tools that you prepared with. So if you look at the tool mix, the fundamental tool mix for these subjects come from our Bible for strategy. If you don't have this book, well, it's like you're going to play cricket without a bat. This is something I've had half of my career on my table, not for anything else, because you flip through a couple of pages, your head starts working. So this is a strategy book on exploring strategy from Johnson and Scholes. There you go. This is the latest edition. And of course, the rest of the books are in your Google Classroom. And all the audit tools from macro to micro to competitor to 5 forces to capability to digital to brand, reputation, stakeholder, all those tools are already available with you, and we have already started working on them. And more you get used to these tools, you get used to the technique of using it, and of course it's going to be so easy for you to apply them when you get your actual case. What's more important is what we want at Daffodil is for you to have these tools at the tip of your fingers to use in real life. That's what matters the most. So what happens there onwards is you are going to make an analysis and put that into 6 pages so that you could take that for your examination. So you have 6 pages of all what you analyze, which you will refer and resolve and address some of the challenges the examination is going to put forward to you. So when you look at the examination, which is what I need to show you, okay, so it's a 3-hour paper. Now this is still the old style of assessment through exam, but we still believe it's of relevance because this helps to truly test your knowledge. Would maybe debate assignments, I believe, are far better approach to look at it. But your analytical skills, as at now, we still rely on an exam. So be prepared even on answer writing, your handwriting, as well as your time management. So the paper will be threefold. There will be three questions which are all compulsory for you to answer. So let me take you through the questions. So you will be referred to as a consultant for Nike, as you know. This is at the highest level. So you just saw what the CEO level looks like. These are top end guys and women. You got to answer at that level. So with reference to the case study and your previously prepared strategic marketing audit, which you have already got with you, most of the work has been done because you had enough time to analyze. So now you're going to answer the questions at hand. So critically evaluate Nike current international marketing strategy and the extent to which it has been successful achieving growth and profitability. So that's the nature of questions that come to you. What you also need to note, apart from the theoretical aspects of international marketing strategy, growth, which is hands-off based, potential for strategic uncertainty, that's theory, corporate reputation is theory. You need to pay attention to these command words of critical evaluate, assess, critically assess. This is where most of the students lose the plot. Just go and write some pre-planned answers, which some tutors tend to be spoon feeding, which is not a bad thing, but in the real world you don't get pre-planned questions in the boardroom. It's good to anticipate, but don't be a slave and just parrot it out. This is why sometimes your pass rates go down the drain, because you got to think also on your feet in spite of your preparation. So as you can see, there are no command words like describe, explain. It's at the highest level. And finally, you're also asked to recommend. And recommendations without justifications are basically empty statements. So you got to really get your head around this. So if I just show you the command word document from CIM. So let's take a minute to go to level 7. Now this is level 7. And when you are told to evaluate, look at this. Can critically evaluate complex, unpredictable, contentious information, often in a specialist context, the context of the market, context of the macro environment, government regulation, coronavirus impacting your business right now, or digital disruption. So there's a context that you got to appreciate and arrive at informed conclusion. Now this itself needs a fair bit of thinking. As we always guide our students, take a copy of this, put it up in wherever you study, and keep looking at the rules of the game. Now, if you're asked to recommend, you got to understand, you got to produce reliable, valid, incisive conclusions proposed based on complex, contradictory, incomplete data. You will never have all the data in the world. So you got to put things together, make the right assumptions. In the real world, when we go to the boardrooms, you got to give your neck online because you are recommending. So if you don't get this drift in the style of writing, the truth is if you don't get this drift when you are asking for budgets or decisions in the boardroom, the answer is generally no. So understand where the game is. It's not in the case study, because the case study is honestly easy to analyze. The tools that you need to analyze is already available, as I showed you, and a lot of work that's going to be done. Honestly, it's easy. But then your ability to relate and communicate at this level is where the real challenge is. So This hopefully gets you on track to start thinking. So, if you look at the summary of this discussion, there are three things: analyzing your strategic position, understanding your strategic choices, and taking action. That's it. That's what, at a strategic level, a CEO's job is all about. So, in summary, work on the case study that we've provided you, which is Nike. Use the toolkit that we've given you to do the strategic positioning analysis. Look at the past papers just for practice so that you start writing and see how that comes out. And there'll be a lot of guidance in the masterclass and your Google Classroom for that. And there onwards, keep an eye on the command words. And remember, when you make a recommendation, it has to be justified and it has to be contextual. So, welcome to the postgraduate level case study, which we call the global marketing decisions.